Hi everyone, welcome to Thursday. Today we're going to take a look at Sky TV. I think I might have actually said Spark on Tuesday's recording, but it's actually Sky TV. Now this is a recent addition to my own portfolio, so I just want to show you what I'm actually looking for when I do invest in a share. Before I do, just remember that it is educational purposes only, certainly not personalised financial advice. For that you do need to go and talk to your own financial advisor. However, I do offer a share trading signal service. I'd love for you to join it. It's free for the first 30 days, where every week I will send out updates as to any new buy positions, any sells, and of course, and most importantly, any changes to the stop loss positions. So let's jump across and we'll have a look at the performance of Spark. Sorry, I said Spark again. It's Sky TV. I don't know why I keep saying Spark. Sky TV. So I've got the graph here up on the screen. Now, if you watch Tuesday's video, the first thing that I actually want to look for, and I'm not going to do it on here because I did cover it on Tuesday, is that the NZSX 50 is trading upwards. I want to make sure that it's in an upward trend before I will even look at filing down to see if there's any individual stocks worth buying. I also want to make sure that the NZSX 50 is trading above the 30-week exponential moving average. That's really important to me. And I also want to make sure that over the past 21 weeks that there's less than 5% volatility in the main board. And that's the ATR down here, you can see. But I run that over the NZSX 50. From there, I then look at only the top 50 companies that are on the NZSX 50. And the reason I do that is because of liquidity. The New Zealand market is really small, and I want to make sure that I can get into a trade, but I can actually get out of it. And in my experience, I have bought shares in the past on companies that have been on our main board but outside the NZSX 50, and I've wanted to get out of them and there's been no liquidity. And so in fact, one I do remember, it was in a profitable position, it hit my stop loss, carried on falling through, and then ended up becoming a losing position because I couldn't exit it. So that's a big learning that I've got. From there, what I then do is when I'm looking at my companies, I want to make sure that they're actually trading above the main board where they're trading on. So that's where I'll go up here onto the left and I'll hit the comparison. So you can see I've recently put the NZSX 50 up here. And you can see here, this line down the bottom is the NZSX 50. Above this is my share, okay, that I'm analysing. Now I want to make sure it's above this line for the last 5+ weeks. And you can see that. In fact, it's been above it since basically the middle of December 2021. So that's a really important thing for me. From there, we'll just take that one off. I want to put on the moving average, and to begin with I'll just do the 30, and again it's the exponential. So I've got this on a weekly chart. I want to make sure that my share is trading above the 30-week exponential moving average, and down here I'll also change this to daily because I want to make sure that it's trading above it on a daily basis, and you can see that that is the case as well. So again, that's another couple of ticks for me. I'll just go back to the week. The next one I want to put on is the moving average, but this time I want to do 15. And again, we want exponential. Change the color so that it looks a little bit different. There we go. Now you can see here, if I can zoom in, you can see here we've got a cross happening. And that was basically at the beginning of the year. You can see that all of a sudden Sky TV, the moving averages, the 15-week crossed through the 30-week moving average. And that's a really good indicator for me. I want to see that, we call that a golden cross. And I want to see that that is happening, because if it wasn't, then immediately it would be a knockout share for me and I wouldn't continue any further. Right. The other thing I want to see is that my share is gaining higher highs. And you can see that, in fact, where that dashed line is, that is a little bit of sort of a sign of resistance. And that can be a good thing. Especially here, we've got sort of 2 weeks in a row now that has actually touched that line of resistance. So that's a good thing. And you can see here, because the more times it touches that line, the stronger that potential trend could be. I mean, this isn't foolproof, but these are the rules that I follow. We also want to see that the lows are getting higher, and you can see that with this red candle here. That low point was a lot lower than obviously the low point of the week before. And you can see that it's been in quite a strong uptrend. In fact, out of the last sort of 7 weeks, 8 weeks, we've only had 2 red candles, which is great because it means we've only had 2 weeks out of the last 8 that has been down for Sky TV. So those are really strong indicators for me also. Now I want to see that the volume's increasing, and you can see down the bottom here, we've not got heaps of volume, but we've got a reasonable amount of volume. It'd be lovely if we could see a volume candle like this one here back in April last year. That sort of strong indicator would be great. But it doesn't matter. We've still got some relatively strong performance here, which is good. Just also looking at the volume as well. You can see a couple of weeks ago we did have Spark close down. Whoops, it keeps jumping around. You can see that the volume on that Spark, that red candle, was a lot lower than the green ones, which is a good indicator. We want to see that the green candles, there's a lot more buying pressure and then what there is or selling pressure when we see a red candle. So that is something else that we want to look for. Right, I'm just going to put another indicator on, being the RSI, or the relative strength indicator. And I'm going to use a 10 period on this one. And all I'm looking for on this one is if it's up around the 70 mark, it usually indicates that a share is overbought. If it's around the 20 mark, it usually indicates that a share is oversold. Now, the big thing to remember here, that if a share is in an overbought position, it does not mean sell. If it's in an oversold position, it does not necessarily mean buy. All I'm looking for here is that there is strong buying interest in this share. So it's up around that 70 mark. In fact, it's trading, it's just above that at 72.6. So that's a good, strong indicator for me that there's still a lot of buying interest in this particular share. It's the only reason I look at it, no other reason. So let's just take that off. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you as well is anything with these candles, going back to the candles with a long tail, if you like, indicates buying pressure. Even better if it's a green candle. But this is also why I have gone into this particular share, because as you can see, the last 3 sort of weeks, there's been fairly long tails, two of these weeks especially long, and that indicates buying pressure, which is a good strong indicator, and that's also what I'm looking for in these shares. If they were red, like this particular, more wicks like this particular red one, you can see here it only had a couple more strong weeks and then it started to fall again. So that's something that I'm looking for. So that for me is basically how I summarize a share. I spend a lot of time doing this, and I just do it once a week. I go through and analyze all the companies that are on the New Zealand Stock Exchange, on the top 50, and this is how I basically do my analysis and work out what share is going to be appropriate for me. Now, I'm happy to do this for you as well if you've got a share that you would like me to take a look at. I love doing that for people, but I hope that's given some insight as to what I'm looking for. Reach out if you do have any questions. I'm here to help, happy to share what I know and the methodology that I use, and hopefully it can get you on the way to perhaps having some success in the share market as well. So until then, take care.